Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So it's day 7 on my Lost Created Mojo colour therapy series, and today I'm tackling the colour blue. So when I first woke up this morning, I started to think about what I could possibly create for the blue page. I thought about all sorts of things. I thought about ocean scenes. I thought about whales, as in the mammal in the ocean kind of whale, not the country. But what did stick in my mind, or what did pop into my mind, was a song from the 1940s, sung by, or the famous version sung by a lady called Vera Lynn, famous in 1942, called "There'll Be Bluebirds Over the White Cliffs of Dover." It was a wartime song, but it was the bluebird thing that kind of stuck in my head. So I think today what I'm going to try and do is to create some kind of whimsical page and incorporate in there somewhere a couple of kind of whimsical bluebirds. So, brand new double page spread in my large Dylusions journal, and I've gone through and pulled out blue supplies. Okay, so I've got, probably not going to use all of these because there's far too many. I've got 4 colours of paint from Indigo Blue. I've got 6 different Dina Wakley blues. So that's all 6 Dina Wakley blues. I've got 3 other blue colours from Reeves, including deep turquoise, the powder blue that I didn't use yesterday on the purple page because it's got a little bit of a purpley hue to it as well. Cerulean blue hue. Those are the 3 from Reeves. Dina Wakley, obviously, Peacock, Sky, Lapis, Ocean, Turquoise and Marine, which is the really, really dark blue one. Indigo Blue, we've got Park Lane, Duck Egg, Townhouse Teal and Coastal Walk. So those are the 4 from Indigo Blue. Non-paint colours, or non-paint supplies that I've got are Archival ink in Cornflower Blue, Forget Me Not and Cobalt. Not too sure about these ones, but definitely the dark one. And in Pit Pens I've got Cobalt Green, which is kind of like a tealy kind of colour, Sky Blue, Phthalo Blue or Phthalo Blue, and Light Cobalt Turquoise. Washi tape wise, I've got these 4. We'll use as and when, and also papers. Okay, I've got some 12 by 12 papers. I think this one's from Tim Holt, from one of the Ideology paper stacks. I've also got some blue kind of ledger paper, and I've also torn out some pages or bits of pages from an old dictionary, including the word bird, and also the word blue, which I'm going to incorporate into the page also. So the first thing I need to do is to get these pieces of paper. I've kind of torn them into the shapes that I already want to go in. So I'm going to put that one down around about there, and that one's going to go down probably around about there, and there. I've got these 2 pieces that I want to put down about there and there to create a kind of ground, and then I've got the other pieces that are going to go into the background up here. Before I even add any colour paint whichsoever. So I'm going to grab my glue and get sticking. I've kind of sketched out what I want to, or I want the page to kind of look like, where the placement of my elements and focal points and that kind of stuff are going to be. Reading some of the comments from what people have been leaving on the previous ones, yes, my mojo has started to come back. I'm already getting ideas for pages and stuff even before I start. So it looks as though this colour series for me has definitely worked to the point where, you know, I'm thinking about what I want to achieve or what I'm doing and how it's going to look. So pretty much we're getting there. I'll just tear that little corner off a little bit there just to blend that in a bit more. I will be adding paint over the top of this, which is why I'm not being particularly too meticulous about where everything's going, and I'm certainly not bothered about sticking it down using matte medium or gel medium, because if it starts to peel up a bit, that's okay. It just adds a little bit more texture to the page. So I'm just kind of collaging, if you like, in that background. Of course, I'll probably end up getting glue all over my hands, but that's fine. That's just what happens, and it's the way it goes. And again, I'm conscious the fact that some of these art journal pages that I've been doing have taken quite some time. Yesterday I had to obviously just speed up a little bit. I know some of you don't like the sped up videos, some of you do like the sped up videos, so you know, it all depends on what time and how much video footage I've actually got. Because if I did this in complete real time, it probably would take well over an hour to do. And looking at watch time statistics, you guys don't watch all the way through anyway. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts. Alright, so next one we're going to put here. So this is going to be the paper. So that's going to go up there. That's the word bird. So let's find that word blue. And yes, I'm aware there are bluebirds in the background on this paper, which is why I chose it. It was nice to find something which fitted really, really well within the idea that I had for the art journal page. I've just realised I put those in the wrong place, haven't I? Never mind, there goes the first idea out the window, well, for placement anyway. So glue, well, that's okay. I can think on my feet, pretty much. Come on, glue. Nearly out of my Tombow. So we'll just have to adjust a tad. Last piece. We'll go, tell you what, let's put it there. Okay, so that is pretty okay as far as the glue's concerned. Make sure I get it all glued and stuck down and held into position. So I'm going to let that sit and dry for a few minutes, and then when I'm happy that it's dry, I'll come back and we can start adding in some paint. Okay, so just really, really quickly, the glue had almost dried, so I've gone in with the clear gesso and just given both pages a complete coating over the top. Now, the gesso has reacted to the colour on those ledger papers and has started to lift the colour off a little bit. So just quickly, I'm going to dry it off just to stop it from wicking any longer. The gesso is now dry, so it's time to start adding on some colours. So I'm going to start off by scraping on some of the really, really light coloured paint. So I'm going to start off with the duck egg from Indigo Blue. So literally just grab it and I'm going to start just adding that into the background. And that isn't kind of as opaque as I was kind of hoping it was going to be. So this is more of a translucent paint. I haven't really used this one much. So unfortunately that's not the kind of effect that I wanted. But it's getting there. Okay, so that's pretty dry now. So I know I have got a lot of different coloured paints here and I probably, like I said, won't use them all, but I'm going to just bring in some of these pit pens now, just to add in a little bit. I'm hoping that these aren't going to dry up straight away. Yeah, some of them are kind of old, so probably not going to be, there we go. Not going to be that useful, but just to add a little bit of division, if you like. Okay, so I'm going to add in a little bit more colour. So I've got Dinner Wakely Sky, and I want some more white because I want to make that a little bit lighter. And I've got a baby wipe on hand just to take off any excess. So I'll grab my paintbrush, just clean that off. And then I can start just mixing some of these paints together, the blues and the whites. So I'm kind of getting both on the brush and then just working it down. And then just with that baby wipe, just going to take a little bit of the paint off in those areas. And because we've added the gesso, it's going to be a little bit more forgiving to do that. And I don't mind getting touches of white in there because it just breaks up that background a little bit. Cool. I'm hoping that the white balance on the camera is okay. and it's not washing out a lot of the colour like it sometimes does. That's it. Okay, so I'll get that cleaned off with my fingers, get that dry again, and then I'll be back. Okay, so next step, I've taken a pencil and I've roughly drawn out the shapes of the birds that I want to add into the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm first of all going to paint them in, or the basic shapes, just in white. So I'm going to go around and just quickly kind of sketch in the shape that I want. So I've got some white paint just off to the side here. Now the reason I've done the white is because it's going to help create a base, if you like, for me to actually add the other colours onto. An undercoat which is going to white out whatever's underneath it, so the paper, that kind of thing. So again, this is probably going to take a few minutes. So I will stick on some music and you can watch me just adding in the base layer. Okay, so they're now dry. I've kind of washed off my brushes, sort of. Still got a little bit of paint on, but that's okay. So I can now start to add in some more detail with some different colours. So I'm going to bring in the Peacock. So I add a little bit of that onto my palette, and then I can start to build up the colours. Because I'm going on to the white, they're going to be a lot more vibrant. Okay, so while we've still got these paints out, they're kind of almost dry. I'm going to bring in the Park Lane from Indigo Blue, and I've got some in the lid ready to go. I've decided I'm not going to bother using the washi tape on this. I don't think it's going to need it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of the Park Lane and I'm just going to drop it onto my palette here. And I'm just going to follow these kind of sketchy lines that I've already done on the page. I'm just going to roughly sort of kind of paint them in. It's kind of almost dry now. Okay, so that will do for those. So that's the Park Lane Blue. And then I'm just going to grab some of the turquoise. Just a little bit of that down there. The detail brush again. Just some light touches just with the turquoise. Okay, so I'm going to get all this dried off now, and then once that's all dry I'll come back with some detail. Okay, so time to add in a little bit of detail. I've got a Stabilo All pencil and I'm just going to now just start to go around the edges. I'm just going to start adding in a little bit of detail. Okay, so now I've added in that detailing, all I have to do now is just using the moisture from my fingers and just blend it just to kind of diffuse those lines a little bit. And actually, I think I'm kind of happy with that. I can probably just add in just that. I don't think it needs it. Okay, I think for that I'm quite happy with those bluebirds. So again, I'm not going to add the little phrase on there. I'm just going to leave it as is. Leave well enough alone. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to sign and date it. So I'm going to sign it up here. And whatever date it is today, 18th. So 18/1/19. Oh, tomorrow it'll be 19/1/19. Excellent. You can't get that one wrong, can you? And I think that's it. I'm done. That is my blue page, my bluebirds. Actually, let's just cut that bit and grab a stencil. So I'm going to just bring in some of that cornflower blue. Sometimes it just needs it. Just a little. Yeah, better. We said we wanted some grounding, didn't we? So we got a bit. Yeah, like that. Okay, so as I was saying, if you've enjoyed that, give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. And I literally am going to step away from this now. It's all from me. See you again tomorrow. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.